And as far as those protesters from last night, many of them are from right here in the city. The mayor says regardless if officers are in the wrong, that is being investigated as we speak. But if an officer is in the wrong in that protest from last night, he or she will face a whole new set of guidelines. A familiar scene, police and protesters clashing overnight. This was supposed to be a march honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from Brooklyn to Lower Manhattan. But once protesters arrived here near City Hall, that's when things took a turn from peaceful to violent.
At a march to honor Martin Luther King, that's exactly what this wasn't. Bottles are being thrown and other things. So we'll reflect on it. If there's anything that we did inappropriately, that'll be dealt with.
There is now a plan of action in place to deal with officers, a new discipline matrix that outlines a mandatory range of penalties for any officers in violation of their duties. As far as what played out Monday night, police say protesters were trying to block traffic, something the NYPD Strategic Response Group would not allow. While Mayor Bill de Blasio says he's not exactly sure who did what, whether or not police were in the wrong, for the first time, the discipline matrix should ease concerns.
I think it's also going to send a message to everyone who works for NYPD to do things the right way. And I think that's going to really be good for the trust between police and community.
But that trust has been tarnished for years, and not everyone sees the NYPD's discipline matrix as the answer. In a statement, a spokesperson for the CCRB said, in part, it is a promising step. But the senior counsel for Brooklyn Defender said the discipline matrix merely condenses and reorganizes the rules in the NYPD's patrol guide and leaves final disciplinary power with the NYPD commissioner. This comes just days after State Attorney General Letitia James filed a lawsuit against the NYPD, alleging abuse, that the department violated protesters' First Amendment rights during Black Lives Matter demonstrations after the death of George Floyd.
What we found was an egregious abuse of police power, rampant excessive use of force, and leadership unable and unwilling to stop it.
Now, the PBA is criticizing that discipline matrix. Of course, the PBA president, Pat Lynch, is not a fan of what we've been talking about. In the meantime, as far as those protesters, well, some of them face charges including assault on a police officer, but many of them face just resisting arrest. For now, we are live in Lower Manhattan. Nicole Johnson, Pix 11 News.